Are you a fan of horror games? Do you revel in the suspense, the chilling atmosphere, and the thrill that comes from facing your fears in a virtual world? If the answer is yes, then you're in for a treat. Today we're going to explore 5 highly acclaimed horror games, each one renowned for its intense and immersive experiences. From grotesque creatures to eerie settings, these games elevate the horror genre to new heights. Prepare yourself for a journey into the heart of darkness as we delve into these acclaimed horror games. First on our list is the latest installment from a renowned series, Resident Evil Village. This game takes the survival horror genre to a whole new level with its atmospheric horror, intense action, and compelling narrative. It thrusts players into the heart of a mysterious village, where every corner turned and every door opened could reveal grotesque creatures lurking in the shadows. The first-person perspective enhances the immersive experience, putting you directly in the shoes of the main character. There's a palpable sense of dread that permeates the game, making each step through the eerie village a nerve-wracking endeavor. The narrative is rich, filled with twists and turns that keep players engaged and on the edge of their seats. The game perfectly balances its horror elements with its action sequences, ensuring that the tension never lets up. Resident Evil Village is a must-play for fans of survival horror, combining a rich narrative with an unforgettable atmospheric horror experience. Next, we have 2 games that have left indelible marks on the horror genre, Silent Hill 2 and Amnesia: The Dark Descent. Silent Hill 2, a classic in the horror genre, is often hailed as one of the best horror games ever made. The game's strength lies in its psychological horror, which plays on the fears and anxieties of the players rather than relying on cheap jump scares. The atmosphere is haunting, filled with a sense of unease that permeates every aspect of the game. The narrative is complex, each playthrough revealing new layers of the story. The town of Silent Hill, with its disturbing and nightmarish environments, is a character in its own right, its fog-filled streets and abandoned buildings contributing to the overall sense of dread. On the other hand, Amnesia: The Dark Descent emphasizes psychological horror over combat, creating an experience that is more about surviving than fighting. Set in a dark and eerie castle, players must explore and solve intricate puzzles while avoiding terrifying supernatural entities. The game is known for its intense atmosphere, effectively using suspense and the fear of the unknown to keep players on the edge of their seats. The castle's labyrinthine halls and ominous shadows create a setting that is as much a part of the horror as the supernatural entities that lurk within. Both Silent Hill 2 and Amnesia: The Dark Descent offer deeply psychological and atmospheric horror experiences that are sure to stay with you long after you've stopped playing. Lastly, we have 2 games that push the boundaries of horror, Outlast and Dead Space. The former, Outlast, puts you in the shoes of a journalist investigating a psychiatric hospital. But this is no ordinary investigation. The hospital is a dark, unsettling environment, filled with horrifying entities that keep you on the edge of your seat. You are armed with nothing but a camcorder, making every moment fraught with tension. The game is infamous for its atmospheric tension and jump scares that keep you constantly on high alert. On the other hand, Dead Space transports you into the cold, eerie confines of space. You control Isaac Clarke, an engineer stranded on a mining ship overrun by Necromorphs, grotesque alien creatures that are as terrifying as they are deadly. The game is a masterclass in creating an atmospheric setting, with its immersive sound design and strategic dismemberment combat that adds a layer of realism to the horror. The silence of space is a stark contrast to the chaotic battles, creating a sense of dread that permeates every corner of the ship. Whether you're navigating the dark corridors of a psychiatric hospital in Outlast or battling grotesque alien creatures in Dead Space, these games offer horrifying and thrilling experiences that are not for the faint-hearted. These are just a few of the many terrifying horror games out there. We've journeyed through the grotesque creatures of Resident Evil Village, faced the psychological terrors of Silent Hill 2, braved the dark castle of Amnesia, The Dark Descent, and survived the chilling atmospheres of Outlast and Dead Space. Remember, the gaming industry evolves quickly, and there are always new horror experiences waiting to be discovered. So keep your eyes peeled for the next gaming nightmare. Until then, sleep well and game on!